what would your one piece of personal advice or thoughts be to someone, hey, I'm trying to figure my life out. I'm trying to figure out what I need to reinvent and I'm trying to find that definition of success for myself.
Maybe if you amalgamate both together, it's actually the definition of success needs to be constantly reinvented because it's not fixed, right? So like to your point, there's no top of the mountain to get to because that changes circumstances, and it also limits you to what that could be. I mean, to your point, as your kid's success is buying beers for your friend. So, but that's obviously now within reach. So what's the next step beyond that, right? So I think there's a sense that, number one, everything's in flux, right? So nothing is fixed. And that's part of sort of the growth mindset. And the second thing is, obviously, when you think about reinvention, is really like the fact that anything is possible. I think that's also something I found recently very interesting. This notion of being a high agency person, right? Which is you can do anything in life as long as it doesn't defy the laws of physics. So then that just kind of challenges you all the time and gives you, and then the reinvention is really just finding the tools, the processes, the things you need to do to get to that. Yeah.
I think about two things. I think about muscles and I think about tools.
Yeah.
I think about tools that you can acquire and sometimes it needs changing and you can go and update and get new tools and all that. So what are the tools that you require to succeed? And then you go, what are the muscles I need to build because those are going to help me use those tools but also going to help me succeed, right? And I think things like working hard is a muscle. Being able to have critical thinking is a muscle. I think reinvention and constantly adapting yourself and being able to change on the fly and be adaptable, I think is a muscle.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily just a tool.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's as you think about, regardless of whether you're a student or your 20s or your 30s or whatever not, just thinking about those two things, right? How do I build those
tools
muscles?
And muscles.
And what tools are going to help me succeed?
I think about it very similarly, but my muscles are called operating system. So like you just need to constantly update your OS, in a very like tech way.
Yeah. I think for me, my tools are the skills I learned, the models that I use. Those are tools. Like, but you need to practice. It's like sports. I think sports is a really good analogy.
Yeah.
If you want to be a great tennis player or a great runner,
absolutely,
you got the right technique. You have the right people, resources around you to succeed.
Yeah.
The right mindset.
Yeah.
Right skill sets, and then you got to put in the work, man. Like there's no shortcut lah.
And I love that, right? If you think about tennis, for example, some people don't look at some of the muscles that have been built along the 10, 20 years away. Even basic things like your strokes, your footwork, for example, preparation for each return. All those things are muscles built that allows you to use your tools appropriately.
Muscle memory.
So what are the muscles that you require, right, in order to help you succeed along the way? I think those things I would think about.
Feels like a capability assessment, Ben.
Wow. So I mean, that's a great way to kind of frame it up. In the end of the day, you need to find what motivates you, what your purpose is, your North Star or your purpose is, and then and that shifts and that grows along the way. Don't be in a rush. I think we all grow in our journeys. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You are who you are, and then what's your journey towards your purpose. And then what are the tools and muscles you need to build in each phase of your life to get there.